The scratched brass key tag for room 14 sits right beside my plate. I trace the dented numbers while the diner clock turns late. You left it sitting by the salt before you pulled away. I kept it in my jacket sleeve to remember yesterday. The waitress fills the porcelain mug again. I count the miles between the now and then. You caught the midnight Greyhound heading north through heavy rain, while I stayed seated in the booth to calculate the pain. The highway took your shadow long before the sky turned red, and left me holding metal full of words we never said. The coffee turns to sludge beneath the yellow hanging lights. I roll the cool brass in my palm to navigate these nights. Your blue coat had that faded stain from autumn and in the park. Now every quiet corner here feels heavy in the dark. The waitress fills the porcelain mug again. I count the miles between the now and then. You caught the midnight Greyhound heading north through heavy rain, while I stayed seated in the booth to calculate the pain. The highway took your shadow long before the sky turned red, and left me holding metal full of words we never said. I almost tossed it in the trash 3 exits down the road, but pocketed the heavy piece to carry half the load. It doesn't open any door we'll ever walk through now. You're throwing out the polished brass is something I won't allow. You caught the midnight Greyhound heading north through heavy rain, while I stayed seated in the booth to calculate the pain. The highway took your shadow long before the sky turned red, and left me holding metal full of words we never said. Room 14 stays locked forever. The brass is cold against my thumb. I pay the check and walk outside. A rattling metal shutter hits the pavement downstairs. The exact same heavy bang that used to wake us both up. I still keep 2 ceramic mugs beside the kitchen stairs, even though nobody comes around to fill the second cup. I saw a red coat in the crowded crosswalk today, and And for a second I forgot you moved 3 states away. You always said this neighborhood would stay the same. Now every corner store has gone and changed its name. We built a paper empire under streetlights in the dark, leaving muddy footprints on the benches down in Miller Park. I found the crumpled ticket from that terrible late show, tucked inside the denim jacket left here long ago. I wonder if you still keep secrets buried in the rain. You used to play a broken ukulele on the fire escape, missing half the chord transitions, but never missing a beat. I found an old cassette wrapped in blue masking tape, with your handwriting faded on the track list sheet. It has been 3 winters since we argued in the snow about which one of us was brave enough to finally go. You always said this neighborhood would stay the same. Now every corner store has gone and changed its name. We built a paper empire under streetlights in the dark, leaving muddy footprints on the benches down in Miller Park. I found the crumpled ticket from that terrible late show, tucked inside the denim jacket left here long ago. I wonder if you still keep secrets buried in the rain. The city keeps on moving without asking where you went. They paved over the alley where our summer nights were spent. I still order coffee with 2 extra spoons of sugar like you did, standing on the crosswalk like a foolish lonely kid. If you ever find yourself back on this side of town, the key is where we hid it when the heavy blinds came down underneath the loose red brick beside the basement door. I am standing right where we both stood before. Burnt clove and cinnamon drift through the kitchen door, where Sarah stacks the porcelain cups upon the floor. She finds his yellowed notebook hidden near the stove, and traces every dried up leaf from autumns in the grove. The winter light turns gray against the glass. She watches all the silent shadows pass. She folds the woolen cardigan he left behind last May, and counts the little copper coins that paid their holiday. The clock ticks slow upon the shelf, the old tin kettle sings, while silver dust settles quiet on forgotten wedding rings. Across the county line, he sits inside a roadside booth and drinks his blackest coffee like he drank back in his youth. He turns a heavy quarter on the Formica countertop and waits for memory's heavy wheel to finally come to a stop. 10 long winters fade into a single afternoon. 2 distant hearts beneath the rising winter moon. Neither dials the telephone that rings in empty space, yet both still hold the outline of a long remembered face. The spice smoke clears into the chill of night. She steps outside to douse the front porch light. The radio hums a song from long ago. Outside, the quiet yard turns into snow. A sudden thought shatters absolute quiet like glass against linoleum floor. The radiator clicks a rhythmic beat while the clock holds its breath by the door. I see the narrow hallway where you stood, yellow street light bleeding through the blind. A single film strip sits upon the shelf, casting shadows on my restless mind. The dust motes float inside the halogen glow. I trace the phantom footsteps down below. You walked across the gravel driveway right before the autumn frost set in, leaving a half-filled paper coffee cup and silver key upon the tin. I watched the crimson taillights vanish past the intersection on the hill, and 30 months have drifted through this room while every single clock stands still. The old film projector hums along the wallpaper, throwing shapes across the beam. I hold the denim jacket that you lent me, coming loose along the shoulder seam. The black landline receiver sits in silence on the wooden side table tray. I listen for your boots upon the porch, but no sound ever comes this way. The dust motes float inside the halogen glow. I trace the phantom footsteps down below. You walked across the gravel driveway right before the autumn frost set in, leaving a half-filled paper coffee cup and silver key upon the tin. I watched the crimson tail this room while every single clock stands still. Wide cinematic shot of rain against the glass, a distant figure by the parkway gate. We used to leave our wet coats on the rug and talk about the news until it got late. Now every vacant corner turns into a movie, playing reel after reel. I touch the faded velvet on the sofa just to feel what used to feel real. The bowed cello holds a final lingering note. Your memory floats in the silence.
Why does the radiator always click in threes? I was thinking about that gas station near the bypass. You bought peppermint gum and a paper map we never opened. The blue light from a sleeping phone screen on the vinyl dash. My thumb keeps tracing the loose thread in my jacket sleeve. I wonder if the dog at the corner house still remembers my shoes. The tea bag stays too long in the ceramic mug. The yellow bus stops on the corner, nobody gets off. I keep holding my breath every time the traffic light turns green. We drove past the salt piles before the snow even fell, tracing lines on foggy glass while the radio hummed low. You held a paper cup until the cardboard gave way, and I still keep the receipt in an old coat pocket. Nothing stays where we left it on that gravel driveway, yet every small turn on this highway brings you back. A plastic spoon sits on the kitchen counter since Tuesday. Your voice came back when I smelled wet asphalt near the tracks. 3 missed calls from a number in Ohio, I don't know. We used to talk about moving to a town with fewer traffic signals. Now I watch the steam rise off my soup and count the tiles. The clock on the microwave is 6 minutes fast. Rain hits the tin roof like small pebbles falling. I almost called your sister around midnight last night. We drove past the salt piles before the snow even fell, tracing lines on foggy glass while the radio hummed low. You held a paper cup till the cardboard gave way, and I still keep the receipt in an old coat pocket. Nothing stays where we left it on that gravel driveway, yet every small turn on this highway brings you back. Wool socks on hardwood floors, lukewarm tea, a flickering bowl. You said the ocean looks bigger when nobody speaks for an hour. I still haven't fixed the squeaky hinge on the back door screen. Was it red or dark orange, that coat you dropped in the driveway leaves? It doesn't matter now, the street lights just clicked on all at once. 6 miles to the next exit sign. The radiator clicks 3 times again in the quiet. I never did ask where you went after that rain.
This heavy oak chair digs 4 deep square dents into the floor. You sit there at 18, watching dust motes cross the door. Your feet press the wooden rung while counting every flaw. You think that the world is a strict, unyielding law. I wish I could reach back and pull your shoulders down. You are not trapped forever in this quiet paper town. You kept every ticket stub hidden in a tin, afraid of the silence before the day begins. Stop checking the clock when the house goes still and cold. The secrets you guard on as heavy as you're told. Take the long way across town before the summer breaks. Forgive your young hands for the early small mistakes. The girl in the hallway will turn and say your name. Your pencil is dull and the paper bleeds with ink. You stare at the street lamp and refuse to let yourself think. You worry the winter will never let you go. You pack up your sadness like gravel in the snow. I see how you shiver inside that oversized sleeves. I know what you lose and I know what time retrieves. The bus leaves at 7. You do not miss the ride. You do not stay trapped in the dark where you would hide. The years bend like willow branches near the creek. You turn into someone who isn't scared to speak. Stop checking the clock when the house goes still and cold. The secrets you guard on as heavy as you're told. Take the long way across town before the summer breaks. Forgive your young hands for the early small mistakes. The girl in the hallway will turn and say your name. Leave the desk behind you now. You will figure out the how. Put the blue coat on the hook. Close the heavy leather book.
foggy glass today. A stranger in a coat sits 2 arm lengths away. He sets his paper down and checks a silver watch, then turns to ask if I can spare a wooden match. I hand him one and watch the yellow flicker spark, a tiny beacon swimming in the depot dark. His gentle voice sounds like an old friend from the past. He asks me if I think the coming rain will last. A stranger holds a mirror to the years I left behind, unlocking buried memories long tangled in my mind. I speak about a porch where purple blossoms used to bloom, and how a quiet departure left an empty living room. He listens to my story while the distant whistles cry, and nods with heavy wisdom as the dark trains rumble by. He tells me that he lost his younger brother long ago in some forgotten valley where the winter rivers flow. We trade our fragile losses while the clock above us clicks. 2 travelers sharing shadows at 6:36. I haven't said her name out loud in over 7 years, but on this wooden bench it lands on empathetic ears. He smiles and says the hardest part is learning how to stay, when every road you look at wants to carry you away. A stranger holds a mirror to the years I left behind, unlocking buried memories long tangled in my mind. I speak about a porch where purple blossoms used to bloom, and how a quiet departure left an empty living room. He listens to my story while the distant whistles cry, and nods with heavy wisdom as the dark trains rumble by. Sometimes a face you never saw before tonight can make a heavy burden feel suddenly light. We don't exchange our names or where we're going next, just 2 brief voices in an unwritten text. A stranger holds a mirror to the years I left behind, unlocking buried memories long tangled in my mind. I speak about a porch where purple blossoms used to bloom, and how a quiet departure left an empty living room. He listens to my story while the distant whistles cry, and nods with heavy wisdom as the dark trains rumble by. The headlights sweep across his face and turn to go. He steps onto the metal steps and waves down low. The amber light fades out into the midnight rain and takes away the stranger who relieved my pain. Yesterday you said the floorboards expand when it rains. I noticed 3 blue thumbtacks stuck in the kitchen shelf. A forgotten grocery receipt sitting inside the sugar bowl. The faint ring on the countertop where your water glass used to stand. Your spare house key rests right beside the potted fern, and the kitchen clock still loses 3 minutes every single night. I collect these tiny details like coins in a jar. Every quiet corner keeps a record of where you are. You left your wool scarf draped across the wicker chair, while cold rain taps the window pane and lingers in the air. I trace the dented copper pot that held our midday tea and count the silent shadows sliding slowly over me. You said yesterday that old books smell like dried vanilla beans. I found a folded bookmark tucked on page 84. A red wax crayon sitting inside the coat rack drawer. 2 silver paper clips linked together by the phone, and an empty matchbox resting on the windowsill. The yellow radiator hums a single steady note. A trail of pencil marks traces the doorway frame. I hold a faded ticket stub inside my winter coat, and static fills the hallway when I hear your name. You left your wool scarf draped across the wicker chair, while cold rain taps the window pane and lingers in the air. I trace the dented copper pot that held our midday tea and count the silent shadows sliding slowly over me. The tea bag sits drying on the small ceramic plate. 3 white buttons left in a glass jar. I keep counting every little thing you dropped, just waiting for the rain to stop.
Rough waffle knit cotton rubs against my palm, dragging me back to that frozen kitchen floor. You were boiling water just to stay calm, watching winter push under the back door. The sleeve had a tear where your watch got caught, a tiny snag loop, a faded navy thread. The air turns cold inside this quiet room. A sudden wave of 30 years ago. I stretch the hem across the afternoon and watch the past light up the falling snow. We shared one
Put your warm coat tight around your knees to save the heat, and walked into the fog while everything was standing still. Coarse ribbed velvet on the sofa cushion seam holds the imprint of where you used to sit. I close my eyes and step into the dream, tracing every stitch until the pieces fit. You laughed when the thread pulled loose from your sleeve, saying old things hold together if you let them be. Now my knuckles feel the weave of time. Every frayed edge remembers what we were. A sudden jump across the timeline, back when the future was a gentle blur. The cloth stays soft, though the color fades away. I fold the sleeve and put the past in place. Just 5 cold minutes from another day, holding winter in a quiet space.
Glows green against the bedroom wall. I count the seconds while the summer storm recedes. I picture us in 30 years when autumn falls, sorting through dusty boxes that nobody needs. We will find this rusty tin of peppermint tea and wonder who we used to be. The rain will stop, the years will spin, a grander quiet will settle in. I will look across the porch at your gray hair and feel the younger version of us standing there. Ceramic mugs, tracing faint scars left by forgotten kitchen knives, unfolding woolen blankets stored beneath the rugs, recounting small mistakes that shaped our quiet lives. You will smile at the memory I kept so long, and hear the faint refrain of an old unwritten song. 5:15 blinks on the microwave down the hall. The streetlights flicker out as daylight takes the street. I see 2 older figures, shadow on the wall, walking slow paths where coastal breezes meet. They hold a faded map with nowhere left to go, content with everything they know.
'cause the sweetest love is built to outlast. The clock ticks forward into morning light. I hold you closer in the dwindling night. I see our future clearly in the space between, where 428 fades into green.
Half-dried lemon wedge sits in the sugar bowl. The yellow rind is hardening to brown. I poke the dried pulp with my thumb and think of us back when we tried to turn this kitchen down. You left 3 Tuesdays back without a single word, leaving your tea stain on the counter space. I keep the apartment quiet like a waiting room, unwilling to disturb a single traced out trace. Trace the circle where your coffee mug was set. The dust has gathered every place you haven't been. My mind keeps spinning through the things I might regret, and how I do them all again to let you in. I kept a dried yellow peel beside the spoon, while autumn dragged cold wind across our park. You walked away before streetlights lit up dark, leaving me alone inside this quiet room. Every silent hour becomes a heavy song. We're missing your sweet voice, is where thoughts belong. The winter jacket that you left behind the door still carries traces of the pine wood smoke you light. I stand beside the glass and watch the cars roll past, wondering where the highway turns off to the right. I used to think that distance was a simple map, just miles of asphalt laid between two lonely towns. But now I know it's sitting in an empty chair, listening to the way the evening rain comes down. I tried to throw the dried out peel into the trash today. My hand stayed frozen right above the open rim. It feels like throwing out the last piece of your stay. So I returned it to the bowl and turned the porch light dim. The sugar bowl remains right where you left it last.
The lemon turns to dust under the kitchen light. I pull your winter jacket close around my frame and let your ghost keep watch over my house tonight.
Delivery truck backfires down on 7th Street, and for a second I still turn around to check the sound. I catch myself expecting you to laugh out loud, your heavy boots coming running down the frozen ground. You always knew which train was running 20 minutes late. You held the rusted iron door before it slammed the gate. We spent 2 winters broke in that cold basement flat, talking big about the places that we'd never see. Now I hear a sudden brake line screech across the asphalt, and the whole past comes tumbling straight right back to me. You took that graveyard shift up in the northern pine, left your worn leather jacket hanging on my line. I bought a ticket back when April turned to rain, standing on the platform while I called your name. The years keep pulling threads from every coat we wore, and no one answers when I knock on that old door. I found your pocket knife inside my kitchen drawer, the small brass blade you used to peel cheap apple skins. I wondered if you ever got that house with land, or if you're still out chasing where the highway ends. I kept the postcard that you sent from Idaho, with just 3 lines written fast in pencil down below. Nobody speaks the kind of jokes we used to share, or minds the heavy silence sitting in the chair. I pack my bags again whenever autumn turns, and keep the quiet pilot light inside me as it burns. The street sound fades away into the afternoon. I hope you found your peace beneath a different moon. I still save a seat for you at our old booth. We paid for all our dreams with wild and stubborn youth. Damp cedar smoke drifts across the back porch steps, where Marcus sits alone with 2 cold cups of tea. He traces faded ink from notes she never kept, and listens to the wind blow through the maple tree.
The porch light flickers red against the gravel drive, holding every shadow where she used to stand. He checks the kitchen clock to feel a bit alive, and turns a tarnished silver penny in his hand. The quiet house remembers every word they spoke, fading slow like embers under autumn oak. He keeps her heavy coat beside the hall door frame, where winter rain still lingers on the Colosseum. No neighbor in this valley ever speaks her name, while distance turns an honest life into a dream. He walks along the riverbed where water runs too cold, and guards a simple promise that was never meant to hold. The scent of pine needles in the glove box stays, reminding him of drives along the coastal line. He counts the empty turnouts from their summer days, when hours stretched forever in the clear sunshine. Her old blue bicycle leans rusted by the shed, with dry leaves trapped between the spokes of iron gray. He leaves the hallway lamplit when he goes to bed, in case a phantom footstep wanders back his way. The quiet house remembers every word they spoke, fading slow like embers under autumn oak. He keeps her heavy coat beside the hall door frame, where winter rain still lingers on the Colosseum. No neighbor in this valley ever speaks her name, while distance turns an honest life into a dream. He walks along the riverbed where water runs too cold, and guards a simple promise that was never meant to hold. A winter storm is settling on the mountain peak. The valley floor turns white before the sun goes down. He finds a tiny paper heart she clipped last week, and tucks it in his pocket as he walks to town. The trumpet notes trail off into the freezing air. He locks the kitchen door and leaves the porch light bare. Pine needles in the glove box keep the past alive, as tire tracks fade slowly on the driveway drive.
scratch brass key tag for room 14 sits right beside my plate. I trace the dented numbers while the diner clock turns late. You left it sitting by the salt before you pulled away. I kept it in my jacket sleeve to remember yesterday. The waitress fills the porcelain mug again. I count the miles between the now and then. You caught the midnight Greyhound heading north through heavy rain, while I stayed seated in the booth to calculate the pain. The highway took your shadow long before the sky turned red, and left me holding metal full of words we never said. The coffee turns to sludge beneath the yellow hanging lights. I roll the cool brass in my palm to navigate these nights. Your blue coat had that faded stain from autumn and in the park. Now every quiet corner here feels heavy in the dark. The waitress fills the porcelain mug again. I count the miles between the now and then. You caught the midnight Greyhound heading north through heavy rain, while I stayed seated in the booth to calculate the pain. The highway took your shadow long before the sky turned red, and left me holding metal full of words we never said. I almost tossed it in the trash 3 exits down the road, but pocketed the heavy piece to carry half the load. It doesn't open any door we'll ever walk through now. You're throwing out the polished brass is something I won't allow. You caught the midnight Greyhound heading north through heavy rain, while I stayed seated in the booth to calculate the pain. The highway took your shadow long before the sky turned red, and left me holding metal full of words we never said. Room 14 stays locked forever. The brass is cold against my thumb. I pay the check and walk outside. A rattling metal shutter hits the pavement downstairs. The exact same heavy bang that used to wake us both up. I still keep 2 ceramic mugs beside the kitchen stairs, even though nobody comes around to fill the second cup. I saw a red coat in the crowded crosswalk today,
And for a second I forgot you moved 3 states away. You always said this neighborhood would stay the same. Now every corner store has gone and changed its name. We built a paper empire under streetlights in the dark, leaving muddy footprints on the benches down in Miller Park. I found the crumpled ticket from that terrible late show, tucked inside the denim jacket left here long ago. I wonder if you still keep secrets buried in the rain. You used to play a broken ukulele on the fire escape, missing half the chord transitions, but never missing a beat. I found an old cassette wrapped in blue masking tape, with your handwriting faded on the track list sheet. It has been 3 winters since we argued in the snow about which one of us was brave enough to finally go. You always said this neighborhood would stay the same. Now every corner store has gone and changed its name. We built a paper empire under streetlights in the dark, leaving muddy footprints on the benches down in Miller Park. I found the crumpled ticket from that terrible late show, tucked inside the denim jacket left here long ago. I wonder if you still keep secrets buried in the rain. The city keeps on moving without asking where you went. They paved over the alley where our summer nights were spent. I still order coffee with 2 extra spoons of sugar like you did, standing on the crosswalk like a foolish lonely kid. If you ever find yourself back on this side of town, the key is where we hid it when the heavy blinds came down underneath the loose red brick beside the basement door. I am standing right where we both stood before. Burnt clove and cinnamon drift through the kitchen door, where Sarah stacks the porcelain cups upon the floor. She finds his yellowed notebook hidden near the stove, and traces every dried up leaf from autumns in the grove. The winter light turns gray against the glass. She watches all the silent shadows pass. She folds the woolen cardigan he left behind last night, and counts the little copper coins that paid their holiday. The clock ticks slow upon the shelf, the old
silver dust settles quiet on forgotten wedding rings. Across the county line, he sits inside a roadside booth and drinks his blackest coffee like he drank back in his youth. He turns a heavy quarter on the formica countertop and waits for memory's heavy wheel to finally come to a stop. 10 long winters fade into a single afternoon. 2 distant hearts beneath the rising winter moon. Neither dials the telephone that rings in empty space, yet both still hold the outline of a long remembered face. The spice smoke clears into the chill of night. She steps outside to douse the front porch light. The radio hums a song from long ago. Outside, the quiet yard turns into snow. A sudden thought shatters absolute quiet like glass against linoleum floor. The radiator clicks a rhythmic beat while the clock holds its breath by the door. I see the narrow hallway where you stood, yellow streetlight bleeding through the blind. A single film strip sits upon the shelf, casting shadows on my restless mind. The dust motes float inside the halogen glow. I trace the phantom footsteps down below. You walked across the gravel driveway right before the autumn frost set in, leaving a half-filled paper coffee cup and silver key upon the tin. I watched the crimson taillights vanish past the intersection on the hill, and 30 months have drifted through this room while every single clock stands still. The old film projector hums along the wallpaper, throwing shapes across the beam. I hold the denim jacket that you lent me, coming loose along the shoulder seam. The black landline receiver sits in silence on the wooden side table tray. I listen for your boots upon the porch, but no sound ever comes this way. The dust motes float inside the halogen glow. I trace the phantom footsteps down below. You walked across the gravel driveway right before the autumn frost set in, leaving a half-filled paper coffee cup and silver key upon the tin. I watched the crimson taillights vanish past the it through this room, while every single clock stands still. Wide cinematic shot of rain against the glass, a distant figure by the parkway gate. We used to leave our wet coats on the rug and talk about the news until it got late. Now every vacant corner turns into a movie, playing reel after reel. I touch the faded velvet on the sofa just to feel what used to feel real. The bowed cello holds a final lingering note. Your memory floats in the silence.
Why does the radiator always click in threes? I was thinking about that gas station near the bypass. You bought peppermint gum and a paper map we never opened. The blue light from a sleeping phone screen on the vinyl dash. My thumb keeps tracing the loose thread in my jacket sleeve. I wonder if the dog at the corner house still remembers my shoes. The tea bag stays too long in the ceramic mug. A yellow bus stops on the corner, nobody gets off. I keep holding my breath every time the traffic light turns green. We drove past the salt piles before the snow even fell, tracing lines on foggy glass while the radio hummed low. You held a paper cup until the cardboard gave way, and I still keep the receipt in an old coat pocket. Nothing stays where we left it on that gravel driveway, yet every small turn on this highway brings you back. A plastic spoon sits on the kitchen counter since Tuesday. Your voice came back when I smelled wet asphalt near the tracks. 3 missed calls from a number in Ohio, I don't know. We used to talk about moving to a town with fewer traffic signals. Now I watch the steam rise off my soup and count the tiles. The clock on the microwave is 6 minutes fast. Rain hits the tin roof like small pebbles falling. I almost called your sister around midnight last night. We drove past the salt piles before the snow even fell, tracing lines on foggy glass while the radio hummed low. You held a paper cup till the cardboard gave way, and I still keep the receipt in an old coat pocket. Nothing stays where we left it on that gravel driveway, yet every small turn on this highway brings you back. Wool socks on hardwood
hardwood floors, lukewarm tea, a flickering bowl. You said the ocean looks bigger when nobody speaks for an hour. I still haven't fixed the squeaky hinge on the back door screen. Was it red or dark orange, that coat you dropped in the driveway leaves? It doesn't matter now, the street lights just clicked on all at once. 6 miles to the next exit sign. The radiator clicks 3 times again in the quiet. I never did ask where you went after that rain.
This heavy oak chair digs 4 deep square dents into the floor. You sit there at 18, watching dust motes cross the door. Your feet press the wooden rung while counting every flaw. You think that the world is a strict, unyielding law. I wish I could reach back and pull your shoulders down. You are not trapped forever in this quiet paper town. You kept every ticket stub hidden in a tin, afraid of the silence before the day begins. Stop checking the clock when the house goes still and cold. The secrets you guard aren't as heavy as you're told. Take the long way across town before the summer breaks. Forgive your young hands for the early small mistakes. The girl in the hallway will turn and say your name. Your pencil is dull and the paper bleeds with ink. You stare at the street lamp and refuse to let yourself think. You worry the winter will never let you go. You pack up your sadness like gravel in the snow. I see how you shiver inside that oversized sleeves. I know what you lose and I know what time retrieves. The bus leaves at 7. You do not miss the ride. You do not stay trapped in the dark where you would hide. The years bend like willow branches near the creek. You turn into someone who isn't scared to speak. Stop checking the clock when the house goes still and cold. The secrets you guard aren't as heavy as you're told. Take the long way across town before the summer breaks. Forgive your young hands for the early small mistakes. The girl in the hallway will turn and say your name. Leave the desk behind you now. You will figure out the how. Put the blue coat on the hook. Close the heavy leather book.
light leaks through the foggy glass today. A stranger in a coat sits 2 arm lengths away. He sets his paper down and checks a silver watch, then turns to ask if I can spare a wooden match. I hand him one and watch the yellow flicker spark, a tiny beacon swimming in the depot dark. His gentle voice sounds like an old friend from the past. He asks me if I think the coming rain will last. A stranger holds a mirror to the years I left behind, unlocking buried memories long tangled in my mind. I speak about a porch where purple blossoms used to bloom, and how a quiet departure left an empty living room. He listens to my story while the distant whistles cry, and nods with heavy wisdom as the dark trains rumble by. He tells me that he lost his younger brother long ago in some forgotten valley where the winter rivers flow. We trade our fragile losses while the clock above us clicks, 2 travelers sharing shadows at 6:36. I haven't said her name out loud in over 7 years, but on this wooden bench it lands on empathetic ears. He smiles and says the hardest part is learning how to stay when every road you look at wants to carry you away. A stranger holds a mirror to the years I left behind, unlocking buried memories long tangled in my mind. I speak about a porch where purple blossoms used to bloom, and how a quiet departure left an empty living room. He listens to my story while the distant whistles cry, and nods with heavy wisdom as the dark trains rumble by. Sometimes a face you never saw before tonight can make a heavy burden feel suddenly light. We don't exchange our names or where we're going next, just 2 brief voices in an unwritten text. A stranger holds a mirror to the years I left behind, unlocking buried memories long tangled in my mind. I speak about a porch where purple blossoms used to bloom, and how a quiet departure left an empty living room. He listens to my story while the distant whistles cry, and nods with heavy wisdom as the dark trains rumble by. The headlights sweep across his face and turn to go. He steps onto the metal steps and waves down low. The amber light fades out into the midnight rain and takes away the stranger who relieved my pain. Yesterday you said the floorboards expand when it rains. I noticed 3 blue thumbtacks stuck in the kitchen shelf. A forgotten grocery receipt sitting inside the sugar bowl. The faint ring on the countertop where your water glass used to stand. Your spare house key rests right beside the potted fern, and the kitchen clock still loses 3 minutes every single night. I collect these tiny details like coins in a jar. Every quiet corner keeps a record of where you are. You left your wool scarf draped across the wicker chair, while cold rain taps the window pane and lingers in the air. I trace the dented copper pot that held our midday tea and count the silent shadows sliding slowly over me. You said yesterday that old books smell like dried vanilla beans. I found a folded bookmark tucked on page 84. A red wax crayon sitting inside the coat rack drawer. 2 silver paper clips linked together by the phone, and an empty matchbox resting on the windowsill. The yellow radiator hums a single steady note. A trail of pencil marks traces the doorway frame. I hold a faded ticket stub inside my winter coat, and static fills the hallway when I hear your name. You left your wool scarf draped across the wicker chair, while cold rain taps the window pane and lingers in the air. I trace the dented copper pot that held our midday tea and count the silent shadows sliding slowly over me. The tea bag sits drying on the small ceramic plate. 3 white buttons left in a glass jar. I keep counting every little thing you dropped, just waiting for the rain to stop.
Rough waffle knit cotton rubs against my palm, dragging me back to that frozen kitchen floor. You were boiling water just to stay calm, watching winter push under the back door. The sleeve had a tear where your watch got caught, a tiny snag loop of faded navy thread. The air turns cold inside this quiet room. A sudden wave of 30 years ago. I stretch the hem across the afternoon and watch the past light up the falling snow. We shared one
your worn coat tied around your knees to save the heat, and walked into the fog while everything was standing still. Coarse-ribbed velvet on the sofa cushion seam holds the imprint of where you used to sit. I close my eyes and step into the dream, tracing every stitch until the pieces fit. You laughed when the thread pulled loose from your sleeve, saying old things hold together if you let them be. Now my knuckles feel the weave of time. Every frayed edge remembers what we were. A sudden jump across the timeline, back when the future was a gentle blur. The cloth stays soft, though the color fades away. I fold the sleeve and put the past in place. Just 5 cold minutes from another day, holding winter in a quiet space.
.428 glows green against the bedroom wall. I count the seconds while the summer storm recedes. I picture us in 30 years when autumn falls, sorting through dusty boxes that nobody needs. We will find this rusted tin of peppermint tea and wonder who we used to be. The rain will stop, the years will spin, a grander quiet will settle in. I will look across the porch at your gray hair and feel the younger version of us standing there. We will pour hot cider in mismatched ceramic mugs, tracing faint scars left by forgotten kitchen knives, unfolding woolen blankets stored beneath the rugs, recounting small mistakes that shaped our quiet lives. You will smile at the memory I kept so long and hear the faint refrain of an old unwritten song. 5:15 blinks on the microwave down the hall. The streetlights flicker out as daylight takes the street. I see 2 older figures, shadow on the wall, walking slow paths where coastal breezes meet. They hold a faded map with nowhere left to go, content with everything they know.
wrapped in amber glass. I do not fear the silver hairs or growing gray, because the sweetest love is built to outlast. The clock ticks forward into morning light. I hold you closer in the dwindling night. I see our future clearly in the space between, where 428 fades into green.
Half-dried lemon wedge sits in the sugar bowl. The yellow rind is hardening to brown. I poke the dried pulp with my thumb and think of us, back when we tried to turn this kitchen down. You left 3 Tuesdays back without a single word, leaving your tea stain on the counter space. I keep the apartment quiet like a waiting room, unwilling to disturb a single traced out trace. Trace the circle where your coffee mug was set. The dust has gathered every place you haven't been. My mind keeps spinning through the things I might regret, and how I do them all again to let you in. I kept a dried yellow peel beside the spoon, while autumn dragged cold wind across our park. You walked away before streetlights lit up dark, leaving me alone inside this quiet room. Every silent hour becomes a heavy song. We're missing your sweet voice, is where thoughts belong. The winter jacket that you left behind the door still carries traces of the pine wood smoke you light. I stand beside the glass and watch the cars roll past, wondering where the highway turns off to the right. I used to think that distance was a simple map, just miles of asphalt laid between 2 lonely towns. But now I know it's sitting in an empty chair, listening to the way the evening rain comes down. I tried to throw the dried out peel into the trash today. My hand stayed frozen right above the open rim. It feels like throwing out the last piece of your stay. So I returned it to the bowl and turned the porch light dim. The sugar bowl remains right where you left it last. The lemon turns to dust under the kitchen light. I pull your winter jacket close around my frame and let your ghost keep watch over my house tonight.
Delivery truck backfires down on 7th Street, and for a second I still turn around to check the sound. I catch myself expecting you to laugh out loud, your heavy boots coming running down the frozen ground. You always knew which train was running 20 minutes late. You held the rusted iron door before it slammed the gate. We spent 2 winters broke in that cold basement flat, talking big about the places that we'd never see. Now I hear a sudden brake line screech across the asphalt, and the whole past comes tumbling straight right back to me. You took that graveyard shift up in the northern pine, left your worn leather jacket hanging on my line. Get back when April turned to rain, standing on the platform while I called your name. The years keep pulling threads from every coat we wore, and no one answers when I knock on that old door. Found your pocket knife inside my kitchen drawer, the small brass blade you used to peel cheap apple skins. I wondered if you ever got that house with land, or if you're still out chasing where the highway ends. I kept the postcard that you sent from Idaho, with just 3 lines written fast in pencil down below. Nobody speaks the kind of jokes we used to share, or minds the heavy silence sitting in the chair. I pack my bags again whenever autumn turns, and keep the quiet pilot light inside me as it burns. The street sound fades away into the afternoon. I hope you found your peace beneath a different moon. I still save a seat for you at our old booth. We paid for all our dreams with wild and stubborn youth.
Damp cedar smoke drifts across the back porch steps, where Marcus sits alone with 2 cold cups of tea. He traces faded ink from notes she never kept, and listens to the wind blow through the maple tree.
The porch light flickers red against the gravel drive, holding every shadow where she used to stand. He checks the kitchen clock to feel a bit alive, and turns a tarnished silver penny in his hand. The quiet house remembers every word they spoke, fading slow like embers under autumn oak. He keeps her heavy coat beside the hall door frame, where winter rain still lingers on the Colosseum. No neighbor in this valley ever speaks her name, while distance turns an honest life into a dream. He walks along the riverbed where water runs too cold, and guards a simple promise that was never meant to hold. The scent of pine needles in the glove box stays, reminding him of drives along the coastal line. He counts the empty turnouts from their summer days, when hours stretched forever in the clear sunshine. Her old blue bicycle leans rusted by the shed, with dry leaves trapped between the spokes of iron gray. He leaves the hallway lamplit when he goes to bed, in case a phantom footstep wanders back his way. The quiet house remembers every word they spoke, fading slow like embers under autumn oak. He keeps her heavy coat beside the hall door frame, where winter rain still lingers on the Colosseum. No neighbor in this valley ever speaks her name, while distance turns an honest life into a dream. He walks along the riverbed where water runs too cold, and guards a simple promise that was never meant to hold. A winter storm is settling on the mountain peak. The valley floor turns white before the sun goes down. He finds a tiny paper heart she clipped last week, and tucks it in his pocket as he walks to town. The trumpet notes trail off into the freezing air. He locks the kitchen door and leaves the porch light bare. Pine needles in the glove box keep the past alive, as tire tracks fade slowly on the driveway drive.